if I was you, I will take a global logistics and supply chain management, which will cover the whole overall business idea, and then you can select which area you like.
That's good. And does it depend on the length of the course as well? Like if it's 2 years, 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel Immigrant. My name is Sagar, and in today's video, which is part 2 of Scope of Supply Chain in Canada, we'll be talking about the different job positions, average salary, job opportunities, like what type of organizations have demand for supply chain, how to do your job hunt, and finally, few tips if you're planning to change your career and get into supply chain. But before we start, I just want to say a big thanks to you all for your positive response on part 1. For those of you who still haven't watched it, go check that out later. It's on the education side of supply chain. Having said that, without any further ado, let's begin. So I just want to know your overall Service Ontario experience. What are the other options in digital marketing? What kind of positions do you have in the restaurant? Now let's talk about the reading part. Now tell us about your work experience. How did you get your first job?
Yeah, I mean, as an international student, you don't have a network here, and it's pretty hard, and you exactly don't know where you're going to land up.
Right.
I graduated in 2016 April, and I did not get a full-time job until 2017 January.
Wow.
So that was like close to 8 to 9 months of a struggle, and I was working as a security guard that time. Trust me, it was like a nightmare, and I was looking for jobs and so on and so forth. But one best thing what I did in my life, guys, I started building my professional network, and I get goosebumps talking about it because a lot of international students right now, they're studying and they're partying on a daily basis, and they make partying as their daily ritual.
Right.
And they work hard, and that's okay. I mean, we all work hard, but they lose the focus. So one thing I did, which started yielding me results, is I kept on networking with a lot of professional people. I went to a lot of coffee chats. I went to a lot of networking events. I went to a lot of LinkedIn meetups. I invested ton amount of time in talking to people, understanding their experience rather than asking for a job, which led me a very nice job in the initial days in January. That was a contract role. Did that for almost 6 months. Again, the mistake what people do is the moment they get their job, they think that it's all done. No, it starts right there. The moment you get your job, it starts right there. So I started networking within the company, build a lot of relationships. So there was a cross-functional team which was hiring for a bigger position on a permanent role. So I built relationship with the manager.
Right.
So he liked me and he hired me. Did that for almost 1.5 years. And then got another opportunity with Walmart Canada as a replenishment analyst. So that's a pretty interesting story. I'll keep it keep it for another day. But it was an e-commerce role. I was working as a replenishment analyst, fulfilling e-commerce inventory and forecasting and demand planning and so on and so forth. Did that for almost 2 years, and finally I landed up in another job as a demand planner in Sobeys. Sobeys just started their e-commerce business in grocery. It's called Oila. It's been pretty famous right now in Canada, right, in GTA and so on and so forth. So I was able to land up in a very good role over there as a demand planner. Again, throughout this, I had to build relationships. I had to upscale my skill, and I have to be grinding every single day to get to where I am right now.
No, that's definitely a wonderful point about the networking.
Yeah.
Because what we did, that's what we have told, right? If you want to look for a job, you have to apply online.
Yeah.
That's the only source we think about, right? Let's go to a website and apply. But not a lot of people think about the networking and, meeting other people, other professionals. You can even meet your professors, right? They will definitely help you.
Yeah.
My question is that, so you said it took you around 6-7 months to get your first job. Was it because you didn't have any experience back home?
So yes, that is also true, because I came here to Canada with zero experience. I did work in a company called Wells Fargo for 8 to 9 months in the finance, but it was completely irrelevant to supply chain management. Right. So frankly speaking, I'm a zero experience guy. So obviously it takes a little bit of time, not because your profile is not good, because job search itself takes some time for you to understand. It's not because you got a resume and you start applying, you get results, and you do that trial and error method, and it takes some time. So one message what I can give you is remove the time bomb mentality. Don't think that okay, I graduated 2 months back, I've not got my I've not got my job, should I change the province or so on and so forth. So right. Please don't think that way. Give yourself good amount of time, do some research, own your job search. When you own your job search, you're going to find the answers. Stop hanging around with negative friends who are saying that it's not happening or right. It's too hard and stuff like that, because they are the people who are going to steal your dream.
Exactly, that's a good point. I mean, like, you have to have patience, right? You're not the only one who's applying for the job. There are other people, there's a lot of competition, but that's not something negative, nothing to discourage. But yeah, you have to understand that it's a long process.
Yeah.
Hiring itself is a process, right? You get your resume, they will scan it, then it's a process itself, right? So definitely it takes some time, and as you mentioned that, don't be negative. Don't think that changing a province is an option. It's fine, but
it's not a solution.
It's not a solution, exactly,
because you're running away from the problem.
What are the other job positions that one can expect in supply chain here in Canada?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Like when you are a new person and you just graduated from one of the colleges here, so the initial positions in supply chain management would be logistics coordinator, supply chain coordinator, purchasing agent, purchasing specialist, purchasing analyst, and customs broker or inside sales representative, or inventory coordinator, inventory analyst. So these are some basic jobs which will help you to put your feet into the industry, and absolutely you can learn a lot and you can move up slowly.
And so these are all the entry-level positions, right?
Positions,
and what are the other positions as you move up?
So, as I told you, purchasing coordinator or purchasing agent. So just put analyst to all of it, supply chain coordinator to supply chain analyst, inventory coordinator to inventory analyst, logistics coordinator to logistics analyst. So the difference between coordinator and analyst is, initially if you're let's say you're an logistics coordinator, mostly you're doing a physical cycle count. You go to a warehouse and you count the inventory, you update the inventory in the system, and so on and so forth. Let's say you're a logistics analyst, you're not physically counting it. A coordinator is counting it. You're analyzing that in the system and understanding whether whatever the inventory we have, is it good to have it, or we should reduce the inventory, or so on and so forth. So that is one thing, and then you eventually move up to manager and director and so on and so forth. Pretty straightforward titles. So it's just about coordinator to analyst to manager, manager to director.
Alright, so tell us now about the money part, like what's the salary you can expect, how much money can you make?
Absolutely, as a new person who's entering into supply chain management with not a big amount of experience, like 2 or 3 years, you can somewhere expect around $38,000 to $42,000 annually, not an hourly salary. And then if you have like 2 years or 3 years of experience within Canadian industry, I can tell you will start making around $55,000 to $65,000, because starting from a coordinator to analyst. And then if you're a senior analyst and you are a manager role or something like that, you can expect somewhere around 65 to 80, somewhere around that ballpark. But it all depends upon what kind of companies you're working with. If you're working in a mid-sized company, they might not have the budget to give you a lot of money.
Makes sense.
But if you're working in a big company like Walmart, Sobeys, Loblaws, or Amazon, and so on and so forth, obviously you can expect a little bit better salaries.
So mostly is the annual that you get, or not hourly?
So I mean, most of the time it's annual salaries, and if you get a contract role like a 3 months or a 6 months contract role in an entry level job, they might calculate an hourly salary. And to start with, if you're working as a logistics coordinator or a supply chain coordinator or a purchasing agent or something like that, I would tell you somewhere around $18 to $21 to start with. That's a good salary to hourly wage to begin, because you're jumping from $14 per hour to $20 per hour, right. And then you can eventually move up.
Good. So as you mentioned that you're working at Sobeys, what are the other companies that they look for a supply chain analyst or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned, guys, more and more businesses are understanding that they need a supply chain team, they need a procurement team, they need an inventory management team, and so on and so forth. So a lot of companies, any company which deals with distribution, any company which deals with retailing, any company which deals with manufacturing needs supply chain guys. For example, Walmart, Sobeys, Amazon, Home Depot, Canadian Tire, Loblaws, Apotex. There's so many companies like Canada Bread, AgroPro, which is milk. Canada Bread is a company which produces bread and so on and so forth. Right. So these are the companies which actually manufacture the products and services, distribute the products and services to a business or an end customer. So all of these guys need supply chain people who will control the inventory, who will buy the inventory, who will keep the inventory, and who will make sure that they'll reduce the cost of distribution chain and bring the profits to the bottom line. So these are some companies which are very Shoppers Drug Mart is one of the thing. No frills. All the companies, wherever you buy the products and services, just think like that. If you're buying a product or a service from a company, you can absolutely get a supply chain role over there.
Yeah, so I mean, for people who don't know about No Frills and Sobeys, they're one of the grocery store, you can say a convenience store, retail store. So retail sector is one of the high demand. And what else? IT.
IT is very, I don't want to name that, I mean like say that it's very limited opportunities, but IT, there is a role called IT procurement. So if you're in procurement analyst in an IT company, mostly you will land up buying the computers or the software is what people needed and so on and so forth. But the opportunities are very limited because if there are 10,000 people working in an IT company, there might be 1 or 2 people who will be working as an IT procurement analyst, because they can buy the product and buy a laptop, and laptop stays for 10 years or so. So more than IT, I would highly recommend you to look jobs for in a retail and a distribution and a manufacturing sector. It will be really fruitful.
So Arjun, as you mentioned that networking is one of the ways you can, if you're looking for a job, that can help. What are the other platforms that someone can use if they're looking for a job in supply chain?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my love is LinkedIn, guys. I can't tell you enough of it, because LinkedIn is a very legit platform, and the job postings what you get on LinkedIn are absolutely high paying. For example, I'm a small company in some place, and I need a logistics guy in a warehouse. I want to pay $15 per hour. Those jobs actually fall into Indeed and Monster and stuff like that. So if you're really looking for a nice job, I personally don't prefer Indeed and Monster. Yes, obviously everybody go through that. Even I've been there when I was looking for a job. I'm not saying that don't go there, but preferably go on LinkedIn, go on Glassdoor, go on the company websites. For example, let's say target based approach. Let's say I'm planning to get a job in Walmart, I'm planning to get a job in Sobeys. I go there and I actually subscribe for their job letters. So that is a very easy way to have a highly targeted approach of applying, because you went there and subscribed to all the job letters in the companies of the company pages, and every time they post a new job, you get an email, you apply right away. So there are high chances that you will get your job.
Right. And also, like, if you're talking about LinkedIn, you can always network with the professional working within the company. For example, if I'm looking for a job in Walmart, I will look for someone like, let's say HR, or someone in the supply chain itself, and I can, connect with the people. That's also another way to use LinkedIn platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know whether you guys know about it. If you are in LinkedIn Premium in LinkedIn, it actually tells you who posted the job posting. So let's say I posted a job posting for Sobeys. LinkedIn will tell you that Arjun Kashetty posted the job posting. So it is very easy for you to personally message me and attach my resume. The chances of me looking at your resume is very high. So go, if you're serious about job search, go LinkedIn Premium and identify the people who posted the job and directly talk to them and do a pitching and put your resume over there, and there are chances that they will look into your resume right away.
Alright Arjun, before we wrap up this video, I just have a last question. What advice would you give to someone who want to do a career switch? For example, if I'm working in, let's say, not IT, I won't say IT because that's not a lot of people are going to do it. If I'm working as a teacher, let's say a basic example, if I'm working as a teacher and I want to switch my career and I want to go into supply chain, what advice would you give to people like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have pretty good experience with this because my wife has masters in biochemistry. She graduated from India and she came to Canada. She looked for jobs here in the biochemistry field, but she did not really see that kind of an opportunity within Canada. So she did not crib about it. She right away switched her career from biochemistry to supply chain. Currently, she's working as a supply chain analyst for a large toy-based company called Spin Master in downtown Toronto. So one thing what she did, she just followed a person who was in the supply chain and she learned and she applied. But if you are a person who's already in this country and who you don't have a network of supply chain people, I would highly recommend you to take a one-year program in one of the colleges like a Humber, or most probably I would highly recommend you to take Seneca Supply Chain Management program. It's one of the best. I had classmates with different backgrounds, and everybody who came to that program got their full-time jobs. So getting in program, let's say you're a new immigrant and you don't want to get into college, Humber and Sheridan provides a 4 months of bridging program. So you can do that as well. That will give you an edge that okay, you have some Canadian experience in the supply chain, and it will give you in terms of getting that edge to get your job.
And I'm assuming because of COVID now, they might go online, right? Now
Everything's online, man. Everything
is online.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, one tip I would give for anybody is LinkedIn videos, guys. Don't be camera shy. Put your face in front of camera. There's ton lot of organic reach. If you can put your face in front of camera and start telling your story, there's so many opportunities which will open up. I can't tell you. That's it, guys. Like put your face in front of camera. There's so many opportunities, not just job opportunities. There's so many opportunities which will open up, and you will thank me at a later point.
For sure. Alright guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Arjun, once again, thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule to share the information with the viewers. And he also has a wonderful organization on LinkedIn called #Fellow International Students. Arjun, if you would like to talk about your campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Sagar, thank you very much. You're doing, you're killing the content in the YouTube, and I'm following you. Please click share and subscribe and the bell icon, so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to fellow international student, it's a group of individuals who came as an international students who understood the grind and who understood the struggles of all the international students who go through the grind and kind of understand how they can get to their full-time jobs and stuff like that. So these are the people who went through the same struggle, who want to give back to the society, and we have good page in LinkedIn, and we have a group over there as well. So you can actually absolutely follow over there, and you can absolutely start networking with your own people and get some help.
Yeah, definitely. We'll share the link in the description down below. I will also put his LinkedIn profile. You can always reach out to him. He's a very helpful person. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much once again. We wish you guys all the best. Stay safe, stay strong, and I'll see you in my next video.
And I have to be grinding every single day to get to where I am right now.